All right, we're back with The Hobbit again, and this time we're going to be diving into all these awesome swords and replicas.
So
hold up a weapon, guys, because this is awesome.
Piece on these tables here is United Cutlery replica of the prop from the film. These are here today courtesy of my brother. He is a airman in the U.S. Navy, currently on the one of their ships. So thank you, Will, for your service, buddy. And he has been collecting these over the past several months. I'm not exactly sure. What is here is everything that he owns that appears in The Hobbit. He has a much larger collection that pertains to the Lord of the Rings films itself. So
next time.
Yeah, next time.
Next time.
Yeah, we're gonna need. You'll need that studio by the time for me to bring in everything. I was surprised how quickly these filled up. So yeah, if you guys, I don't know. Do you want me to just?
Yeah, let's just start diving in. Is there a certain sword we want to start with?
We can definitely start with what Will's got there. So that is the Morgul blade. Now, fun fact: United Cutlery actually makes two versions of that same one. If you can confirm for me, Will, on the backside it says The Hobbit as the certified inscription. Do you see that?
Yes, it does.
So that is from The Hobbit. They make one that is inscripted from The Lord of the Rings, and I've not seen it, but my brother claims, his name's also Will, actually, which is quite funny. So my brother, Will, claims that he wanted this one over that one because the Lord of the Rings one is like cleaner. Like that one has the pitted look and it's kind of
like dented,
evil looking, and yeah. Now what cracks me up though is he doesn't have both, because the Morgul blade wielded by the Witch King of Angmar to bring Frodo into the Wraith world is in the Lord of the Rings movie is also, unfortunately, in the Hobbit film. This should not appear in the Hobbit film according to the book, but it is one of my favorites. Just by it feels nice in the hand and it's light and it's actually quite pointy.
It's got something to it that drew me to it. It looks like something that's been buried and somebody dug it up.
Yeah.
It looks like a very sinister blade.
Yeah, it's very cool.
It's like it's got a history.
What shocks me that he doesn't have both copies of that version is if actually we come to Sting here, Jack, if you want to grab Sting in front of you there. We got room for that. So Sting is, as I mentioned in the main show, there are two versions of this as well. One's got the inscription in the blade, which Bilbo has put on there by the Rivendell elves after he names it Sting. And William owns both. He has both this Sting and the other Sting, so I don't know why he chose not to get the other version of the
Well, you said
blade.
he's only been collecting them a few months?
Yeah, but he got these with, there were weeks where multiple boxes were showing up at the house. And
maybe he just hasn't gotten to it yet, then.
Maybe. I do know there's a few he doesn't want. One of the swords actually...
There's a few he's boycotting.
He's a bit picky.
Okay.
He is.
Right,
He's boycotting Bard's sword from The Hobbit, which we've already discussed is baloney. And Bard's sword looks like baloney. They went way too fantasy with his sword. If you look it up, I'm not encouraging you to look it up, but I'm letting you know you can.
We can throw it up on the screen.
Blaine already Googled the picture
It's
for us.
terrifying. This sword of Bard is disgusting, and I don't know why they have it, because he's called Bard the Bowman, not Bard the Swordman. And he doesn't need a fancy sword, but he has one. So William is boycotting that one. But we are waiting on Isildur's sword, I think. Oh, he wants to get Thranduil's sword. So Thranduil's sword would have also been in The Hobbit, and that is a cool blade. That is pretty sweet. But he does not yet have that one. And then he does want to get, I think it's a High Elven Second. No, because I have the High Elven Second Age sword in his collection. He wants another Elven sword. And those are the last two he's waiting on. Isildur, Thranduil. Oh, and the third one, the High Elven sword. So, but he's got two Stings, which are fun. It pains me that it's in the film, but the staff you got there in front of you guys, that is Staff of Saruman. So I bring it just because Saruman does have it at the White Council. See, do I need
Good
to ask?
teamwork, guys. we're proud of you.
So it's actually I don't know if the camera will catch it, but it's pretty tall when you stand it up next to.
You wanna
Yeah, got it.
look at that? I'm using.
I don't
It's
want to.
very top heavy.
I don't want to impale it. Yes, it is very top heavy. So it's nigh on. It's above 6 feet. So it's pretty sweet. So fun to have. Cool little piece. I'm actually, I'm gonna have this come back to you gents over there. There we are. Got it?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Unfortunately, there are only 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that right? 5. There are 5 blades on this table that actually, from the book perspective, make sense to be there. Sting being one of them. Glamdring here, Blaine, if you'll showcase. So Sting, Glamdring, and then we'll talk about this one next, but Orcrist are the 3 blades that the company finds in the cave troll. Cave troll? Troll cave. That's what I meant to say.
So this is
You
Gandalf
found it inside the cave
Inside the
troll.
cave troll.
inside the troll.
He was wondering what that stinging pain was for the past 7 months and realized he sat on a blade. No.
They paid the troll toll.
So that's the sword that Gandalf claims. And it is Glamdring, made in Gondolin and named Glamdring by the Gondolin elves. And Foehammer, I believe, is the translation for Glamdring. I think. I'm going to be disappointed if that's not true. Now, the goblins had a different name for it. This one was Beater. So they just called it Beater because it beat them to a pulp all the time in the earlier goblin elf wars in like the Second Age, First Age kind of stuff. Now, its sister sword, Orcrist, was Orc Cleaver. And again, I'm hoping I'm saying that right, because if it's not, I'm going to be terribly, terribly disappointed. I personally am. This is the one Thorin Oakenshield claims in the Hobbit movie. I'm not a huge fan of this blade design. I'm even less a fan of its hilt design. It's not very intuitive, and I think this is a good representation of the fantasy realm that the Hobbit kind of tried to jump into.
That one, I don't know why, but that one seems to look more elvish to me
Then,
than anything else. I mean, I guess these are a close second.
which are elvish, so
Which-
that's
I like
good.
the curve.
Yeah,
and-
it's the curve, but it's like, and it looks very one-dimensional, like purpose. Like it looks like that one is made for just chopping things, whereas this is a symmetrical sword that is
More
meant
medieval
for more
influence.
medieval. You can, this brings to mind battles where it is like
Yeah, standard.
that looks like somebody riding a horse just chopping.
More graceful.
Yeah,
Almost.
almost like a
Yeah.
scythe. It's got elements of a scythe.
a
in it,
scimitar. No, not a scimitar. What
Well,
am I
scimitar
thinking?
too. I was thinking the thing that you use to chop like wheat plants.
Yeah.
Oh,
so-
yes. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got that curved edge.
But just have like a
to aid in
scimitar
slicing.
thing going on too. Yeah.
Yeah, but on the path of elven blades.
These.
So you got the 2 from Gondolin, you got Sting there, which was renamed later. But these 2 are Tariel's blades. I'm not a fan of their design. They are far more fantasy focused than, but I mean that just plays into I don't like the Hobbit movies in general, which we've discussed. And Tariel as a character, actually, fun fact about Tariel's actor, and I'm so sorry I forget your name, but the actress came on board with the condition that they do not put her in a love triangle or make her a romantic interest in the film, and they completely reneged on it.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Is that the lady elf, like the main
Yeah.
one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shoot, what's her name? Is that a No, shoot. I forget. She's
What's
the
she
Wasp
in?
in Ant-Man. I forget what her name is.
Oh,
But so she unfortunately got, screwed over in being forced into be in the love triangle between Legolas, her, and then Keely. Oh, those are the other swords my brother's boycotting, are the dwarven swords, because dwarves don't have swords. They have
Axes.
axes. So fun fact about this one, this actually is sold as and is marketed as Gimli's axe, or his walking stick axe. But I was discussing with Blaine earlier, and that also is top heavy, so enjoy.
I'm enjoying.
That also is a fun
you're enjoying a little too
a
much.
little too much. That's also a fun one because the reason I brought it today, even though it was marketed as Gimli's axe, is I was watching the films and I looked up some photos. That actually is the same exact axe that Gloin, Gimli's father, carries in the Hobbit movies. So the fun fact is, in Lord of the Rings movie, at the Council of Elrond, when Gimli hops up and tries to split the ring in half with his bearded axe, it shatters and he gets knocked back, but he then joins the Fellowship of the Ring. Well, Gloin, his father, is also at the Council of Elrond. Now, he's not given us a limelight in the movies, but he is there. And so the fan theory in my head goes, after his son busted his axe trying to break the ring, his dad being right there is like, well, I guess my son's going on this adventure. Here, take my axe since you busted yours, you moron.
I'm already subscribed to that theory.
I love it.
like that.
I love it.
That's fun.
Because it is the axe that Gloin carries, and this is the axe that Gimli has throughout the remainder of the Fellowship, or throughout the remainder of the Fellowship Two Towers and Return of the King. Now, fun fact about Gimli's double-headed axe, which obviously isn't here because it's not in The Hobbit, but my brother and I, nerding out watching the movies, actually figured out that Gimli picks up that double-headed axe in the Mines of Moria when they're going through. You see it leaning somewhere in Balin's tomb. And I think while Gandalf is reading through the script, the book of Ori, who's one of the dwarves from The Hobbit, his skeleton has that book that Gandalf picks up. So that's Ori. As he's reading it, I think in one of the scenes you can see the axe leaning up against something, and then later it's just magically in Gimli's hands. So even though it's Gimli's axe, technically it's Gloin, so that's why it's here. Another fun, I'm loving how this is flowing because I did not plan this out, but another fun
Keep going.
family heirloom that appears in both The Hobbit and in The Lord of the Rings is Hothafang, which is the sword of Elrond, which is then handed down to Arwen.
See, that one's very elvish too to me. And I think it's because it's almost if you just were to draw a line on it, it's almost an S. Mm-hmm. And that one's kind of got that thing
S,
too.
that S curve
the
to
S
it.
curve, yeah.
When Jackson was directing and they were working, oh, you're handing it to me. My apologies.
I was gonna stab Blaine, but yeah, that's what I was doing.
When Jackson when they were in pre-production, and here's another reason why the movies have the divergence of appeal, in my opinion, other than the studio involvement. There were 3 years of pre-production for The Lord of the Rings. So before a film was even shot, they were working on setting up Hobbiton. They were working on the sets. Alan Lee, and oh gosh, Tolkien or Lord of the Rings fans are gonna kill me for not Jonathan Howe. Yes, Jonathan Howe, or the artists working on concept art for the movie. So that all was going on. This was actually very close to the original design for what they wanted for the elven soldiers in the prologue. Fun fact, while they were practicing with it, the stuntmen, in order to just help with practicing, they were getting kind of used to the wieldiness of it. They put foam guards all the way little higher up. And allegedly Jackson was walking through one day and goes, I like that. Make that the sword, which is why in the film you've got the much longer handled elven swords that they use in the prologue, and they kept this design to go to Elrond, well, Arwen, but originally Elrond. So that's a fun father to daughter hand me down, similar to Gloin and Gimli's axe. And a reason that a lot of the elven blades have that curve. You want to go one past the notch there, Jack?
One past right
yes,
here?
sir. The reason that they have those is in the pre-production when they were trying to get the feel and the finish of each of the races within the movie. You got Gondor and Rohan. They're so distinctly different. A lot of the elven armor motifs, swords came from very Eastern influence, which is why you got a lot of the scimitar kind of S-curve shape stuff.
Go. Okay.
So it's pretty cool. And then to finish off what we have here on the table, blade-wise, is actually, and it pains me that it's in the movie, but it is my favorite character, are the fighting knives of Legolas. So these are used to great effect and kill many an orc in both movies.
Why does it pain you?
Because he shouldn't be in the movie.
Because he shouldn't be in the
he
movie.
shouldn't be in the Hobbit. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Shouldn't be in the Hobbit, but these are some of my favorite pieces. Another it's not a blade, but this is a 1/2 scale.
I would almost guess a quarter scale. That's
Maybe it's a 1/5. Because I've actually gotten to wear the actual Sauron helmet. I was at a gun show in Sharonville years ago, and there was a guy that just had it on his table. And the actual helmet, the size anyway, the dimension. I'm like, can I put that on? And I wish I could find the photo. I lost it, but the thing is massive.
yeah.
I have put this on my puppy though, and he looks hysterical. Yeah, it's cool. It's neat to have. Again, it pains me that it has to be on this table for things that are in The Hobbit, because Sauron does not appear in The Hobbit.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that appears in The Hobbit. His mask
He's the
from
necromancer.
the Second Age.
It's more of a silhouette.
Oh, okay.
It's more of a silhouette. So it's not obviously true, but yes.
Because he definitely should be nowhere near the Hobbit.
But he is.
that
He's the
character.
necromancer. Yep. Which we don't know is why Gandalf is off to Dol-Guldur, but he is. So that's cool. And then obviously the thing that brings us all here, the ring. This particular prop, this replica, came with, and it's not here because this thankfully wasn't in the Hobbit film, but came with the Mace of Sauron, which is a behemoth. And they have this ring sized to Sauron's finger.
Like that gloved
That
arm
glove.
when he gets it cut off.
Yes.
Now, does it in the obviously magical properties? It resizes itself to each person, doesn't it?
It does. So in the extended edition of the Fellowship of the Ring, when Gandalf rides to Minas Tirith to look at the scrolls and try and find the history of the ring, where'd he go? He can.
Oh God, I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that. Oh no. Oh no.
That'll be fun. But no, you were asking about the resizing of the ring, and in the extended edition of the first movie, when Gandalf's in Minas Tirith, it does a flashback to when Isildur picks up the ring from the Gauntlet of Sauron, and it shows it resized down to man finger size. So I think that's the only time that the movie captures it. But it is cool that they add that. But yeah, no, that is the swords of the Hobbit.
replicas. Nice.
Yes,
That is
and
awesome.
X's. So,
We're gonna
Love it.
stab each other now.
Yeah.
We
See,
didn't need the swords for that.
well, that's true. But yeah, thanks again. Just a thank you to you guys for having me on and letting me.
Well, thank you for
Nerd
letting
out.
us actually do something interesting for once.
Hey, man, it was my interest in your shows that eventually got me here. So you're
Blaine,
doing
how much you
something
paying
cool.
this guy?
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, that's the agreement. He just doesn't. Yeah, so.
We're gonna have to
That's,
Venmo
that's,
Blaine.
that's hush hush.
I knew you borrowed his credit card, but did
Wait,
you max
what?
it out already?
borrowed without permission, but with every intent on giving it back. So, but yeah,
Thought you were going to stab Blaine. Okay, me.
it's always you.
It's my fault.
Always you. So,
Cool. Oh, that was awesome. We appreciate it. Everyone, hold up a sword, and we will say goodbye.
Will.
I've
Everyone goes-
intentionally picked the one that's a pain in the ass.
He's committed.
All right, everyone. Bye.
Bye.